Hey guys, what you're looking at right now is just me mocking up the MIshiMoto intake tubes over here. And what they did is they put their logos on backwards. Now it looks from probably your angle that it's built into it, but if you get a little closer to it, you should see that it's actually a sticker, clear sticker. So I've sent them a message and hopefully they'll just give me a new sticker, 2 new stickers, and I can pop them on there after I get them on, because as you can see here, it really does make quite a bit of difference, in my opinion, to have that logo showing. But it's no big deal. I've got another sticker that I can cut in half and I have an idea to put on. But for now, I'm trying to get them on. This has turned into, as you can see, my engine's half apart here. It has turned into a bigger project than I anticipated. Anyways, it would be easier to take this strut bar off, and I know how to do it. Basically, I need to loosen this about a turn to loosen the tension there and then pop the bolts off, but I just don't want to mess with that. I'm just going to have to do it the harder way, as you would say. But the problems I've come into so far is, first I had to figure out that they were backwards. I'm going to take this off anyways because I don't have the clamps on. But it's these things here. Let me show you. If you guys get tubes like this to dress your engine up, they are different. I mean, they are different. As you can see here, if you take a really good look at them, trying to get them in the shot, they are not the same. Maybe it'll show up better if I do it like this. I don't know if you can see that well. Let me put them like this. You see how one of those, the air horn, is what they call it, is pretty much coming out at this angle, more of like a 45. And this is, so that's kind of an acute angle here for going into the air horn. And this is more of an obtuse angle, slightly more than 90 degrees. Looks like about 110 to 120 degrees. So they are side dependent, and the car, it's not that these are messed up. They're actually, the car does on one side. If you can see in here, I don't know if you can see this piece right here for this bar, but the that goes in there fine. And this is the one. Let's see if this is the one. Yeah. Well. Yeah. That's the one that's gonna have to go to that piece, because this is more of an acute angle. The piece, I want to say the vacuum line, but that's what I'm going to call all of this. This is under the engine covers, vacuum lines, and it goes to valves here and so on. This air horn goes into the vacuum line, and on one side, the vacuum line piece that it's actually going over is coming out exactly the direction of my finger here, just straight, basically an acute angle from here to the actual intake tube. So that's why that requires that. On the passenger side, let's see if the camera is panned over to that side reasonably enough. On the passenger side, no, that's about as good as it's going to get without me moving the camera. On the passenger side, the vacuum system here line is coming off of this, and there's a box here that's not on that side. It's a different type of box. This may be a resonator. I believe it is a resonator. I could take it off, but I don't have a piece of tubing to change this, so I'm just going to leave this on. This one comes straight in like this. The valve is just like that, and as you see, this throttle body is coming off like this. So that, the one that has the more obtuse angle closer to 90 degrees, is going to fit into that. And that's something that it's not mentioned in the installation instructions. It's not really mentioned, you know, pretty much anywhere that I found. And I apologize, guys. I'm sick, so my voice is is not so great, and I'm probably gonna be annoyingly sniffling a lot, but that's okay. It is what it is, right? All right. So, and also the fitment here. These air horns are way too long. I mean, this valve here is extended to about right here. And as you can see, that air horn goes all the way there. I mean, so there's no way. I'm going to have to cut off at least half of this, and probably on both sides. I'm just going to do one at a time to mock it up. It's always better to cut less than more. You know. So I'm going to cut a little bit, try it out, and then do some more. But I'm just going to keep all this on film. I've lowered the quality a bit, so maybe we can, you can get the whole me trying to figure this out. But I've got my Dremel here. I just got a metal bit on it, and I'm just going to mark this out for the heck of it. I've got a dry erase, hoping to get something that if I had to, it would be able to come off easy enough if I mark too far. We'll see if this dry erase actually marks when it's green. I'm just going to mock this back in there. This is really not an easy job because these things are not, I mean, it's sort of a delicate task here. And getting this off was not easy. I have the engine cover, both of them off. I have the air boxes out. Obviously the tubes. You know, I mean, so I've got this thing apart. The only other part that would make this quite a bit easier to do would be to take the strut bar off. I just don't want to mess with it because it's under tension. And even though I can do it and adjust it, now I've got really strong. I've got a really strong impact wrench that I could take these bolts off. I'm pretty sure I could do it by hand, but I could get this bar off. I just think that from the factory, this is probably on really good, and as the car shifted over the years, it's probably it's just, in my opinion, probably best on the way it is without me taking it off and putting it back on. If that makes any sense. So I'm gonna try to work with it the way it is. Looks like I'm just gonna go ahead and cut basically half this and just start with that, maybe a little less than half. So we'll niche this out. Can you see what I'm doing here? Not that you don't know how to cut it. Alright, this is actually at an angle, not that really matters, but see, half would be about right here, so let me mark something like this. I'll try to keep with the angle, because it isn't directly straight. Go around this side. And we'll just do a rough cut here. As you can see, this is slanted, actually. Whether that was intentional or not, I don't know. Let's just see what this metal bit does. You're going to see it as well as I do. I'm going to move the camera, so I'm not going to do it right over the car, just in case it's one of those deals that makes a mess or sends, you know, pieces flying all over. I'm trying to see if you're going to be in frame here. Okay, that looks pretty good. So basically, I'm gonna cut. Looks like I'm a little off with the what the camera's showing. I guess I can stand up and do it, right? If you've ever operated a camera backwards, trying to do stuff, and you're not used to it, it's not the easiest thing in the world. The closer you are, the less space you have on the actual camera itself. This is going to be out of focus, out of frame rather. If I go down here, I'm going to try to do it here. Alright, Wish me luck. Alright, first impressions is this metal bit does not cut silicone like it does metal. But I mean, it's obviously going to cut it. I've got plenty of replacements if you guys are like, you idiot, for these bits. I mean, these are cheap as heck. But anyways, back to it. And it is emitting a funky smell, but it is silicone. So. Trying to get this so you can see what I'm doing. Wow, this is thick stuff. Good. I like it thick. Annoying camera. Wow. Can't imagine trying to cut this with a box blade. And this is going to be tight in here. I don't like that at all. It's coming loose now. I'm trying to get it from one end so I don't have to cut in close to this edge. This is the hardest material I've ever used. It's not the hardest material, but it's the hardest to cut that this Dremel's ever had to go through. The bad thing about this is I think this is not going to be enough, so I'm going to have to do all that again. But like I said, I always cut less than too much. Wow, this stuff does not want to stay. You really got to put a grip on this. we go. And that's why I like to use the Dremel, because that's a clean cut. It took a while. Well, that probably wasn't the most interesting thing to watch, but you can see it's considerably shorter now. We'll see if this is right, if that's going to be enough. I need to go ahead and put on clamps, at least a clamp, in case it is. It's really not fun to get something on and then you got to pull it back off. These clamps actually take I guess it's probably, this clamp's probably taking about you can do it by hand here, but I'm going to guess that's probably about 6 to 8 millimeter. But you can use anything. I like these clamps a lot. Alright, if it's going to go on like that, I probably want access to it. Straight up, you know, logo's cool and everything, but ease of installation trumps logo. And I can adjust that down. So let's see what we can do here. As far as this goes. Alright, now this end right here doesn't come perfectly round. You've really got to use some force with it. And I recommend putting in the air horn first. Okay, that's on well. That's actually on a clamp too. Let me get that clamp because it's one of those spring clamps. So okay, just in case this is right, I'll have it ready to go. While I'm talking about it, before I do that, you see this? This is the original for this side. And look at this. This is just straight off the bottom. That's the air horn. This is the clamp that I'm about to pull off, this little spring. But I noticed this, and it's only on the driver's side. This little deal. Look at that. I was like, what is this? Here, let me put it up close for you. I was like, what is this? You know, it doesn't go to anything else in the vacuum system. It's just a straight, you know, open piece of plastic here. That's just comes off of the intake. And I looked and looked and looked, and what it turns out to be, I thought it would be an air silencer, and I suppose it kind of is because it's called an air resonator. And so it's a resonator on the intake lines. The only thing I can think of, resonators to me change the sound. So this is there just to make the intake quieter. Why it's only on the driver's side? You got me. That's the engineers. I think they could have done without this because it does nothing to improve in performance. If anything, this is going to reduce performance just slightly because it's another line coming off into just a bracket. But anyway, I wanted to show you guys that. You'll see this on your cars. I don't know about the DEs, but I bet the DEs, even though they just have the one intake, I bet you guys have just a single resonator on yours. Don't know though. You can look. I think people do resonator deletes just like you would do on exhaust on their intakes, and just take that out. Just take this clamp off, and they would, you know, plug that up, the hole up, and claim it's going to give them performance. It's not going to hurt performance. If anything, this steel right here is hurting performance, but it's very slightly. I mean, probably not measurable. Anyways, I'm going to take this bad boy off. Alright, we need some good pliers. Grab this. This was a pain to work with when it was up in there on the engine because it was turned all the way to the bottom. I couldn't get it. I had to use my fingers, and these things are pretty strong to be using your fingers. Get a nice pair of pliers like that and you're good to go. Let me, again, I'm gonna need to take this off. So you gotta remember all these things. Get this off. Left a little bit of residue. Alright, let's put this clamp on the air horn. You see, I'm going to try to put it in a good accessible position, which looks like the top is bound to be the best. Okay, so there we are. It's suited up for battle here. I'm going to do that right away because that's the first thing that goes in. Get that, open that back up. And we're going to need to push that all the way in. That is easy this way. That is the right way. Alright. That's in. I can let that go, I suppose. That's going to make it a little tougher to move. Alright, let's get this top part around that edge. And this is where the air horn comes in. This, if it's not short enough, this is really causing it's bumping against this. There's a pipe coming out this way. And so it's not wanting to go all the way on, because this needs to meet flush with this. So it looks like I'm actually going to have to cut that some more, like I said. Let me look at the intake. And then this intake here is going to go something like that. Which looks pretty close. They said in the instructions that you may have to cut a 1/2 to 3/4 inch off of that. And it looks like it's going to be really close. I think I may get away with it without having to cut anything. But I do have to cut the air horn a little more. The clamp only has so much room. But I don't have any more room to push that way. And this thing basically needs to come this way just a bit. This goes evermore when it's actually in, but so back to the, again, like I said, now I got to take all this back off. That's why I thought this was going to be an easy deal, and it's not, because it's not designed. I don't know why on earth. Let me go ahead and take this top off. Why this isn't designed exactly to fit. I mean, this is only for one car, so. But, you know, it's the way it is, I guess. This should be the exact length on all of it. It should be a perfect fit, but I'm just griping now. Now I get to use the metal bit. I wonder if a wood bit would cut that better. You think I should try a wood bit? Should probably take this clamp off in case I hit it. Metal or wood bit on silicone. Wood's design is a softer material. We'll see if it makes a difference. It's a bigger wheel. I'll try it, because that did take a considerable long time. Where's my wood? I tell you guys, if you don't use a Dremel, buy one. I can't tell you how many times I've used it on different things. I mean, it's so great. I have a diamond wheel here. It's designed for cutting, sawing, carving, sharpening, and filing of hard materials: wood, concrete, brick, porcelain, ceramics, and tile. I'm looking for a softer material cutter. So we'll try this wood. And I recommend, this is the actual Dremel brand, but they make knockoffs which work pretty good. With the attachments, the Dremel attachments are not cheap, but you can shop around, especially online, and get them a lot cheaper than you can in stores. But for example, like this came on this actual bit. It's called a Easy Lock, and I like it a lot, and I'll show you why. Because without this, you have to unscrew this with a screwdriver and put the bit on, and then screw the screwdriver on. With this, you just take it and turn it, and then the bit just pops off. You take your bit that you're going to put on it, and you just line it up, and then it pops in and it's ready to go. I mean, you can't get much faster when it comes to Dremel bits. I'm just going to stick this bit down there. It looks pretty, doesn't it? We'll see if this, how much should I cut, you think? Let's just cut, look at it as far as the width this is. And I don't need to cut any less than this is going to provide. I'm just going to eyeball this cut. I'm not even going to mark it. It didn't sling anything around, so I'd cut it here by the car. Not worried about it. Yeah, you guys can still see. I don't know if this is working any better or not. I didn't really expect it to be any better. So I don't waste too much time. I'm going to stop this because this does burn up the memory card.